And Dryad Arbor is just like an extra, turns your green sun into an elf or whatever. Just a little extra. It's like pretty much the only target for this guy that's interesting, forest or forest. I don't have any other tree folk in the deck, so at least not that I noticed. Let me know if I'm wrong. So, not that she's a tree folk, but she's an interesting forest if you don't want to just get a basic here. So, let's see what we got here. Our land tutors, basically to get our Gaia's Cradle. And now our creature tutors. We've got Wirewood Herald, which, if you're going to want to sack, Skull Clamps, your best option. I'm not sure what else, if we have another way to sack a guy here. Oh yeah, I guess you could Birthing Pot him away. But anyways, so tutors, Wirewood Herald, Fauna Shaman, pretty sweet tutor. Let me think. And also, yeah, we'll get around to it. Defense of the Heart, kind of conditional, but pretty sweet when you go ahead and get it. You're probably going to want to get, one of these guys that's going to let you draw your whole deck. I've cut all the, typical green beaters like Primeval Titan and Avenger of Zendikar because they really just get in the way of you comboing off. So, okay, let's see, Defense of the Heart, Birthing Pod, and you've got all your chain all the way up. You've got obviously 1-drops, 2-drops, Orphelos or Titania, whatever, 3-drop, Archdruid, 4-drop, Wirewood Channeler, 5-drop, Guiltleaf Elder, and 6-drop, Primordial Sage. So you've got at least one in each of your main spots. I might put like a Genesis back in this deck. He's okay. He kind of gets in the way of the combo though. This deck is surprisingly consistent. I mean, with 12 tutors here, you could imagine it would be. So anyways, Birthing Pod, Worldly Tutor, card disadvantage, but you've got enough card advantage. I think you'll be okay. Court of Calling, pretty sweet if you have some of these, what do we have, like, guys who don't really have haste because they're not druids, or they're just like, your little elves, like, I don't know this guy, he's pretty good, because you put a land card into play so he can be used for getting your Gaia's Cradle, if you've already played a land on the turn you're comboing off. But, a little additional use with Court of Calling helps. Green Sun Zenith, pretty sweet, one of the reasons that Dryad Arbor's in the deck. Summoner's Pact, very, very sweet. Natural Order, yeah, pretty insane, because you don't have to pay full price for your guy. So now you're usually sacking, a Sky Shroud Ranger or something for one of your combo pieces. Either, Soul Harvest or whatever. Fierce Empath, I kind of had these order in, some kind of power order or something, but this I think is pretty wrong, because, yeah, I don't know. He goes in somewhere here, something like that. I'd say somewhere between Birthing Pod and Worldly Tutor, maybe. Something like that. Anyways, because he just, 3 mana, and, yeah, for a 1/1 elf, not bad. Now, Wild Pair, this card is like the most insane because almost all your guys have, total power and toughness of 2, 3, or 4. So you can pretty much get just about anything you want. Some of the guys are a little bit tricky, like 4/5 here. I don't know what exactly has power and toughness add up to 11. The 3/3 here. Is there anything for that? I don't know. I don't really see it. 6/6 used to be able to get Primeval Titan, but you make do. You can't, but it's pretty insane, especially when you have some of these guys in play. Let's see, this guy especially. So it's whenever a non-creature enters a non-token creature enters the battlefield. So basically, now you're drawing 2 every time you play a guy with Wild Pair. That's pretty sweet. You figure out a way to tutor this guy, and then you're drawing 3 every time you cast and then every time the 2 enter the battlefield. Super sweet. And of course, probably the best tutor of all, Survival of the Fittest, because it has haste, can be used multiple times, and just gets exactly what you need to just combo off. We have some random hate cards down here. Essence Warden, I mean, she's kind of like an aggro hater. She's also just kind of a vanilla elf, probably something you want to, you know, sack to Skull Clamp or whatever, because she's not a druid, so she doesn't have haste unless you have like your heritage druid. So, you know, or one of your real things, but she doesn't tap for mana unless you have your heritage druid or your Birchlow Rangers. Same with, you know, Elvish Scrapper. These are just some hate cards. So this is like an aggro hate card, you know, gain some life, don't die before you combo off. Elvish Scrapper, it's going to, you know, get rid of maybe somebody's Rings of Bright Hearth or something so they don't combo off, make infinite mana. Elvish Lyrist, you know, get rid of those enchantments that just kill your guys all the time or whatever. Vigor, in case someone tries to mill you out. Scavenging Ooze, to a little bit of graveyard hate. Which I could have a Nantucket Tracer in the deck instead of that, which I might do because it's a druid, so it taps for mana, you know, gets moved over to one of these other piles. It's pretty sweet. And Viridian Zealot, just in case I don't have a way to make a guy have haste, I can still, you know, he's kind of an alternate to Elvish Scrapper, Elvish Lyrist, because these guys have to tap to use their abilities. He just pay 2 and sack. He's a lot more expensive, you know, 4 instead of 2 total, you know, 1 to cast, 1 to tap. But, you know, you don't have to give him haste somehow to use him, so he's pretty sweet. And then the finisher of the deck. Our Crater Hoof Behemoth. New piece from Avacyn Restored. Haste, whenever Crater Hoof Behemoth enters the battlefield, creatures you control get trample and +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. So, you know, you combo off, your guys have haste, you make them all like 50-50 tramplers. Pretty sweet. You just have to make sure if you're going to draw your whole deck and play your whole deck, you don't draw this guy, because this is not a May ability. You can't read it here unless you can read Russian. But, yeah, you draw the number of cards equal the number of creatures, green creatures you control. Or is it green permanents? I don't know. I might have to Google that. But, anyways, yeah, you don't want to play him as a, you know, once you've drawn your whole deck. Unless you're discarding Vigor somehow. There's no Wild Mongrels, so I don't know how you're going to do that. Anyways, and we have 26 forests. So we have 27 land total with these 3 guys. And, you know, pretty fun to play. It's pretty consistent. I've been really surprised at this evolution of like the second EDH deck I ever built. I used to have a Kamal Fist of Krosa. And, you know, after a while it turned into just an elf deck, and I had a Zuri Renegade Leader, and then, you know, I was building it into a combo deck with, you know, basically these guys, and I started adding this guy, Guiltleaf Archdruid, and when I was looking for druids, and, you know, I found this guy. I couldn't resist, you know, because there are only so many 1-drop elves, you know. And, you know, when you have to get this guy to give him haste, you know, having Seton or Seton as your commander, it's like a free tutor, you know, because you get your Heritage Druid equivalent, all your 1-mana elves that tap for mana, have haste, and then you have these additional 1-drops, you know. These, what are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 additional 1-drop mana dorks. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet indeed. Fun deck. Hope you liked this video, and I'll see you later.